Okay, we're live.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for being here this evening. This will be the City of Arlington Planning Commission meeting. This is Tuesday, March 15th, 2022. At this moment, I'd like to call the meeting to order. And also, if we could start off with everyone stand for the flag salute, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We could have roll call, please.
Tim Dean,
Here.
Bruce Angel,
Here.
Mike Thomas,
Here.
Melissa Johnson, here. Ivan Van Arnhem,
Here.
Great. Thank you very much. We're all present. At this time, Chair requests a motion for approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, we're moving right along. So next item on our agenda then would be approval of the consent agenda. This would be minutes for our March 1st, 2022 Planning Commission workshop and minutes for the February 15th Planning Commission workshop. So Chair requests a motion for approval of consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Oh,
Any discussion? Nope. All in favor?
aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? So it looks like we are unanimous as that as well. Thank you.
Oops.
So the next item on our agenda then would be our public hearing. And at this time, the chair, as the chair would like to open our meeting as a public hearing at this moment. And that would be done before any presentation by staff. So at this time, we would like to open the public hearing and allow staff at this time to make their comments.
Thank you, Commissioners. So Amy Resco, Planning Manager for the City of Arlington. I do want to let anyone know that is online. I'm not sure if we have anyone not planning commissioners. You received a notice for the preliminary docket via mail. And so if you are here for items number 2, which was the Highland Drive map amendment, or for amendment or item number 3, which was for the Lindsay annexation map amendment, those have been pulled from the preliminary docket. We will not be discussing them tonight. So I apologize for the inconvenience of anyone logging in tonight to view those or to listen to what we had to say about that. The map amendment was a Scribner's error on Highland Drive. So that was, that actually went to City Council, and the change was adopted under ordinance 2022-004 on March 7th. And the Lindsay annexation map amendment did not need to be a new docket item. It was not being rezoned, so there was no need for it to come back through the docket process. So that was approved by City Council under ordinance 2022-003 on February 22nd, 2022. So those ordinances are already in effect and will not be on this docket. So for the items that we will be talking about tonight it's a city initiated proposal to rezone a portion of York Park, which is the map that you're seeing on the screen right now. So the dashed out areas in red or across the green park is the area that the city is looking to rezone.
So I'm going to recuse myself on, do I need to step out?
I'm sorry, I forgot. Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, we had a planning commissioner that needed to recuse themselves for this property. So the city is asking for a rezone of 0.56 acres, which is currently zoned public, semi-public as part of the park. It's where the house and shop sit or garage sit on the property, to residential moderate capacity. So the parcel is owned by the city of Arlington, and we're looking to rezone this area to be able to sell it to a private party for development under the residential moderate density zoning classification. So are there any questions from planning commissioners or from the public? Please raise your hand in Zoom if you're on the Zoom meeting, and we can answer those questions.
We don't have any.
I guess we don't have any public comments. Is there any from planning commission?
No, none for me.
No, none for me either.
Oh,
All right, I'll move to the next agenda item. So the second city initiated proposal is for our development code regulations of Title 20. It's the land use code. So the proposed development regulation amendments to Title 20, most of the revisions to the chapter are a cleanup or scrub of the code is what it's called in the land use world. What has happened is the city has made zoning map changes, created new zoning designations, and has added new residential housing types over the past 2 years. So about 90% of the code amendments reflect those changes that have already taken place to the city zoning map and to other areas of the code. So there are about almost all the code changes or all the code chapters will change to some degree, except for about 5 of them. These include anything from changing one word in the chapter to redesigning the chapter with the same or similar information, just putting it into a new layout that's easier to read. And there's only about probably 10% of it that's going to be new content. I can go through all of the code changes if we would like that to happen, or I can do a quick summary of the code changes. They are all in everyone's packet or online to review. So we can start with questions if you'd like.
Yeah, well, now these don't reflect the actual changes, but just the sections that you're looking at changing.
Not so far. So everything in here, there might have been a word or two that was not listed on here that I found as we're going through it, but nothing outside of what you've seen so far or that I brought to the commissioners. It has changed. There's actually a couple that are dropping off that I found it in a different section, so I didn't need to change it. Or I thought that we needed to add something, and I ended up finding it after reading through other sections of the code. So there's actually a few things that are dropping off. I don't think there's any additions to.
Which ones are dropping off?
I didn't think we had a very strong the way that it addresses appeals. I was reading it under the appeals variance and interpretation section of 2020. And then if you go to the hearing and pre-hearing procedures for appeals, that's actually where it is. So I thought we needed to add some more language to that, and we don't. There's the design standards. We were gonna try to incorporate all of our trying to think of it. Yeah, so we have documents for like the development design standards is a separate document, it's a reference document to the code. So originally we were going to try to incorporate all of our reference documents into chapter 2046, and it's kind of become a bigger project and kind of unrealistic at this point. So we're going to just be adding to 2046 where to find the documents, make sure they're very clear on which zones require which documents to be followed. And then we're also going to be putting them on our website in a very easy, accessible location instead of being hidden within our online documents. So just that's a major change, actually. Instead of rewriting that entire chapter, we're just going to be adding a few things to it. The mixed use development looks like it's a lot, but it's really not. There's only about maybe 10 changes. But the way it's listed out, I just didn't know until I got into it. So that's going to be a big difference. And I believe that's about it. That's changed.
Okay, so my question, Amy, was, so the bulk of any of the changes were discussed at our workshop. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, that's what I thought. And the ones that you just described now are ones that sounds like you were working on between now and our last meeting.
Yeah, I've actually had a chance over the past 2 weeks to really dive into making the changes to the code. And so as I'm going through it, I'm kind of refining what is there, but what is on the list right now is what we are looking at to change or to not, or to remove or add is what is here. Some things won't be added and some things will be taken off and vice versa.
Okay. So going through previous meeting procedure, what I'd like to do at this time is to call on each one of the commissioners to ask them if they have a question or a concern. So I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Yvonne. Do you have any questions or concerns with this?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Mike, do you have any questions or concerns on this?
Nope, no, we've gone over it a bunch and no questions or concerns at this time.
Thank you. Melissa, did you have any questions or concerns?
I don't have any, no.
Okay. And then finally with Bruce, any questions or concerns on that?
No, not now, no.
Okay. Thank you very much. And so would that conclude, the staff's presentation?
That concludes the, yes.
Okay, then at this time, I would like to open the floor for public testimony. Do we have anybody who is online right now or present wishes to address the commission?
No public in the meeting.
Okay. Then if there is no public testimony at this time, I will close the public testimony portion of the hearing. And now we will move on to deliberation. So at this time, the chair, if we're all in agreement, the chair is requesting a motion.
Chairman, I move to approve the 2022 docket and recommend passage by council.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I second that.
Also,
Thank you. All in favor
aye,
and all opposed? So no opposed, so ayes have it. At this point then, since we have deliberated, we have concluded, I will now close the public hearing and we will move on to our next item on our agenda. It looks like that item is going to be new business, which is the HAPI grant award discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is just informational. I just wanted to inform the Planning Commission that we had applied for Department of Commerce grant for an amount of $100,000 for the Housing Action Plan implementation grant. We were informed that we did receive or are going to receive that grant amount, which will then be applied to some of the prerequisite items for a sub-area plan creation for the Smoky Point corridor. We've sent out the request for proposals 2 weeks ago, and we did get 2 applicants for that work. So we'll be setting up for our interviews and in decision-making for to select the consultant in order to perform that work. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's more of a comment than a question, but I'm looking forward to seeing what we come up with. But
Great.
any further questions or comments?
So just so I can clarify this, this will be the prerequisite work for a sub-area plan. It will not be the sub-area plan itself. But we will have to either apply for other grant opportunities if they become available or budget for the remainder of that work to take place. But the intent is to create the sub-area plan for the Smoky Point corridor prior to adoption of the 2024 comprehensive plan so that it can be a part of that comprehensive plan.
So Mark, what would the commission's role be in this?
Well, you certainly will be reviewing the material as it comes in. And we'll have those discussions about what we're looking for out of that prerequisite work. This will really set up and establish what that corridor will look like in the way of housing and retail and commercial services along there for the mixed use. So, and this is in anticipation of the installation of the bus rapid transit by Community Transit, which will occur in 2027.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments or concerns from other commissioners? No, thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Well, this was a much faster meeting than I anticipated. I kind of appreciate that in a sense, but hopefully we covered everything correctly. So at this point, I'd like to open it up for any public comment for items that are not on the agenda.
Can that include me?
It may. You are the public.
Okay, I just wanted to let the commissioners know that I am trying to get you the bulk of the code changes, like the smaller ones, to your next meeting on April 5th. So I'm trying to get all the chapters probably except for maybe 3 or 4 to you on the 5th for review. So that will be a bigger packet. And then try to bring the rest of them to you at your meeting, but it'll be discussion only on April 19th. So I'm trying to reserve discussion items, or for the month of April, try to be able to discuss them all once before they come back to you in May for your workshop. And then hopefully it's ready for recommendation to council by the second meeting in May. If we're not, we can push it off, but that's the goal, is to review them at the next 3 meetings before the next public hearing. So you'll be getting those, that next packet will be pretty big.
Okay.
I have a question. So the only way that we'll be able to see this is if we go on to our Arlington account, correct?
No, you'll be able to view it all on the
City.
website. The website will have everything that'll be at the meeting.
Yeah. Well, what I mean is, so on our personal email account, we don't even get a reminder. That's what I'm going to say. No reminder. We have to come up with this all on our own, that we need to check into these sites. Is that true?
You will get an email to your city email address for the agenda when the agenda is posted, and I'll attach whatever I can. Sometimes the attachments are very large and I can't email them. That's why I was trying to set up a folder.
Yes,
Because I can't email anything over like 30 megabytes. And like, for example, the Old Town Residential Design Standards was 68. So that's why I couldn't send it. So that's what we were trying to do with the folders. I'm more than happy to have a printed copy here for anyone that wants to swing by and pick them up. Be prior to the meeting, the day that the agenda goes out, the packet can be ready. And so anytime prior, I'm still trying for a week before. Sometimes I know it's been a couple days later than that, but Tuesday or Wednesday prior to the April 5th meeting, I can have a packet ready for anyone that wants to have a printed copy. They just have to let me know so I can have it printed. I don't want to waste the paper if I don't have to, but I'm more than happy to print it for anyone. So you guys are reviewing it. Or I can just plan on printing 5 and then I can either bring it to you. You can pick it up ahead of time, or I can bring it to you at the meeting, if that works as well.
If I may step in, kind of shy away from having you print 5 of them off. Yeah, so
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's something that should be done as by request. Would that
Okay.
be okay with you, Mike? If you
Oh,
need it, you can
No,
request it.
that's not the issue. The issue is, I just wanted to make sure that we will never see anything on our private email again, because I got no notification tonight, so I had to go look thinking, oh, it's Tuesday night. I better go look and see if we have a meeting tonight,
Right.
because there's no reminder. That's why I'm asking.
That's what our city IT department has requested. So
Okay,
yes,
so,
but our meetings are the first and third Tuesdays of every month unless you hear otherwise.
yeah, I understand that. But occasionally, some days slip by when we get really super busy, and I was just so I'll just remember that. That's what I wanted to know.
Okay,
No more private email reminder that just says, look at your account at the city because we have a meeting coming.
correct.
Okay.
All right. Any further questions or comments? All right. Chair requests a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
I second that motion.
Thank you. Yeah. Any discussion? With no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tim, I'll be reaching out for some findings of fact for the planning committee or for the council.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect. Or I'll send you last year's or whatever if you want.
Sure.
You still have it. Okay, perfect. Thank you.